place, we were playing like 300 people, 200 people, 100 people, 50 people, 20 people, like, like, so, like,
Gotcha.
and just maybe turning a little bit over to a different subject, I do really think that it was really awesome to be able to have the opportunity to, I don't know if like, get the opportunity to say, oh, hey, we have our amps that we want, we have the sound system, we have the sound guy, and like, all the things that like we were working towards as we
Right.
were building our band, like we finally got, and it's kind of cool to see all these other bands that get to do it and be like, and I also, it's fun to even talk to some of these my friends that are in some of these bands, like, hey, what amp are you using, what, what they, like, what are you doing now, because like you're not using like the borrowed PV amp that you borrowed from your, your uncle, like, or whatever, your friend, or like the like you're playing, yeah, Bobby over there had another, Marshall, so I'm just playing through his, it's like this, everyone's got like some cool stuff that they want, and they, they get the, so it's just, it's kind of, I think everyone kind of has the opportunity to really sound how they wanted to sound, and instead of like kind of like winging it as a bunch of like kids that were learning it at some, like, there's a certain maturity that kind of makes the immaturity sound a little bit, you know, fuller and cooler, and like, like, and of the time, like, just to like fill it out in a different way.
So now with the things going on with the band, you guys have, to my knowledge, you guys have one show set up. There may be more, or you guys may have stuff in the offing too.
There's
Okay.
two.
Is the plan now just like, hey, we're gonna play stuff that we're interested in? Are you planning to record? Like what are the, like, how
we
back is Texas?
we're not, it's not really up for really a discussion, I guess. I don't really know, like, we said yes to these two festival shows, um and that's kind of where we're at now. And we just want to, like, we've got a rehearsal space in the middle of us all in New Jersey, and it's like really nice. It's our space. It's like bigger than a little space here in Brooklyn, and we have all our gear there. It's set up, and we get to practice, and we're just kind of like, just want to focus on, like, these are going to be like two of the, biggest things that we've ever done. So we want to like sound, great, and be like a band that we're always, as great as we always ever were. And I can't, tell you how happy, like, and like that, it sounds awesome. And it's like, it's fun to like, it's just been really exciting to be like, oh, Sunday. Okay. Sunday. Garrett, I'll pick you up. All right, cool. We'll see you at the space, so it's,
It's kind of like, sounds like it's sort of like how it was in the beginning when you guys were picking each other up and going to practice. And
it's really, it has a very, like, being back in New York has a like very weird post-apocalyptic 30-year ago, like, fall back into my, like, how is this happening, like, kind of thing, because it is weird. It's very strange, but
well,
yes, it
and so
has
much
that.
of hardcore is like, there's that idea of bringing it back, like literally, like, you get in and you hear bringing it back, but it sort of seems like right now, and you correct me if I'm wrong, the excitement that you had starting the band in the 90s, it's almost like you guys are getting sort of a little taste of that right now in this, in this time period of doing Texas.
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea. I also, like, been pretty busy the last, 10, 15 years, like, with my chef, career. So like there was like a little bit where I got to break off, but I didn't really have, you know,
Have you always been cooking? Like that's the thing. Like, because I've known you 30 years. Like, I know that you're a chef. I know you're a very good chef. But like,
I always
were you
worked.
cooking
I was working
when
at
we were
Angelica
staying in
Kitchen.
Hartsfields?
When we stayed at Hartsfield, I was working at Angelica Kitchen. I was on my vacation from Angelica Kitchen. I wasn't necessarily like a cook or a chef there, but I definitely was involved in like serving food, and I worked. I made, and then but that was like at that point definitely I might even have been no I did more than that, you know, but I started working there like as a delivery guy on the bike, you know, like, you know, I had the very first, I had like I worked my way up, you know, like, you know, there for, you know, all the way through. So I always worked in restaurants, and even like when I was in high school, my first job, I was 14 years old. I worked at a place called Lenny's Clam Bar. I guess there was a few of them. Um, there's a few of them. There's still one in like Howard Beach, Queens, that I was like, I gotta go and see this place. I'm sure it like smells exactly how, but yeah, I was like a busboy at this like, you know, big Italian American restaurant that had like, you know, pizza and like pasta and like these big sections of like these giant tables and like it was on the so I worked there in 1986. So I'm trying to think of what but there was people would come out of like Nassau Coliseum for their concerts, and you know, and but so I'm blanking on like there was like a big show. It can't be U2 Joshua Tree because that's later.